Hello everyone. In this video, we'll try to create an ASM Diskgroup on an Oracle database, which is actually hosted on a Virtualbox. Currently, my cluster, the 23 RAC cluster, is installed on Oracle VM Virtualbox. It has got 2 nodes as of now. Node 3 is not yet added, but maybe at a later stage I'll add node 3. But as of now, the RAC cluster is made up of 2 nodes, 1 and 2. And let me log into node 1 and node 2 and check what is the cluster status. The command is crschedule check crs. All the services are up and running on node 1. crschedule check crs. Yeah, it is up on node 2 as well. Let us see if there are any databases running on this first node. Yes, we do have ASM instance and an RDBMS instance that is running on this node. On second node, yes, we do have it. Let me see what is the configuration for this database. servicetl config database -d orcl cdb. As we can see, it is running out of the normal database home. It is made up of 2 instances, orcl db1 and orcl db2, and it is running on both the nodes, node 1 and node 2. So the next step is we'll see like how many disk groups are created on ASM CMD LSTG. What it shows is there are already 2 disk groups that got created. That were created, data and reco. Now the requirement is we need to add another disk group. For that purpose, first we need to add a shared storage that is actually accessible from both the nodes, that is node 1 and node 2. And then we we'll create a partition on that, and then we'll create an ASM disk using ASM lib, and then followed by ASM disk group creation. So for that purpose, we'll go to the file tab and then followed by virtual media manager. So these are all the hard disks or the virtual disks which are being assigned to different computer, that is which are different virtual box. Now I'll try to create an ASM, I'll try to create a virtual hard disk which should be actually shared between node 1 and node 2. For that purpose, I'll select VDI. The reason being the existing ones are also using VDI extension. Instead of going for dynamic allocation, I'll go for the pre-allocated full size. I'll choose this location and I'll put something like I'll rename it as NVMESSD. I'll increase it to some 100 GB. 100 should be fine. Yeah. Finish. So it should take some time for creating this virtual hard disk. So let's wait for it to get created. In the meanwhile, let us see like what exactly is my system configuration. Where did task manager go? Task manager, yeah. If you see the performance tab, I got some 5 drives on my system. This is a Windows system. The F drive is actually a hard disk and CD is SSD, and drive G is also SSD. But the difference between CD and G is this is a regular SSD and this is NVMe SSD. So the read-write performance when it comes to the NVMe SSD is very high when compared to SSD, and SSD is much better when compared to HDD. If you see for this disk, the read write is somewhere around 7 MB, and here it is. This should be very much less when compared to NVMe disk. So this is the, if you want to achieve higher throughput and IO, we would generally prefer, it's better if you go for NVMe SSD. So let me minimize this tab and see if the virtual disk got created. Yes, it got created. And I want this to be shared across two nodes, right? So what I'll do is under the attributes section, I'll click on shareable, and click on apply. And after that, we'll go to the settings of node 1. Under the storage section, we'll try to add the already existing virtual hard disk or hard drive. So the what we created is NVMe SSD. So I'll click on that and choose. It got added. As of now, it is not attached, but once I click on OK and again come back to the settings, it should be attached to node 1. Yeah. So currently, this particular the virtual hard disk which we created is attached to only node 1. And the next step is we'll attach the same hard disk or the virtual hard disk to node 2 as well. I click on add. I'll select NVMe SSD and choose. It got added. As of now, it is only attached to node 1. I'll click on OK, and I'll again go back to the settings and then storage. As now we can see like this particular NVMe SSD, this particular shareable device is shared among the two nodes. Yeah, we are good now. Okay, let us go to node 1. I'll go as a root user. I'll do fdisk-l. Let me see if the LUN is created or is visible on node 1. SSD C 20 GB, 20 GB. The one which we created is of size 100 GB. Yeah. So it is currently, the storage is now accessible on node 1. Let us see on node 2. fdisk-l, fdisk-l, dev sdg. Yeah, it is also visible on node 2 as well. So the next step is create a partition on it. The command for that is fdisk followed by the disk name. I'll give it as n. I'll consider partition type as p. Let us go with the default values. Created a new partition, one of type Linux of size. Yeah, we are good. And I'll save it. So by now we should have a partition that got created for disk dev sdg. Yeah, we already have a partition that got created. Since this is a shared hard disk between the two nodes, it should be the same should be reflected on node 2 as well. Yes, on node 2 also we need not partition it again as it is already shared. Now the next step is I do have points in the notepad. Okay, let me do Oracle ASM, run the command Oracle ASM list this. What it is giving me is these are the disks which are already in use. I'll run the same command on node 2. Yes, we are good. Now the next step is to create an ASM disk. For that purpose, we'll run this command on node 1. Instead of SDGH, I'll put it as SDG1, and I'll keep some naming convention as per the older names. Disk IP1, yeah, they should be fine. I'll enter, yeah. Now we'll do a scan of this, and again we'll run the list disk command. Yeah, now it is visible. The disk got created and it is listing under list this command. I'll run the same command on node 2 as well. Disk 5, it is not getting populated. Maybe I need to run the scan disk command. Let us see. Scan disk is completed. Yeah, now fifth one is, sorry, the disk 5 or the whatever the naming convention that I gave is visible on node 2 as well. Now what we'll do is we'll switch to a grid user. And see if this got detected by our ASM. Set pages 300, set lines 300, column path, I'll make it as some A50. Yeah, our newly added ASM disk is available or visible on ASM. That means it is able to get the required details, and the header status is provision. That means that we are good to go for creating of ASM Diskgroup. I'll try to create it as well. I don't have the commands handy. Okay, let me try. Create disk group. I'll put some name as NVMe SSD. I'll pause the video for some time. I don't have the command handy. I'll be back in some time. Yeah, I got the correct syntax or what for creating the disk group. So this is the disk group that I'm trying to create. This is the disk group name, and I'm going for external redundancy. And this is the path that I'm giving. Permission denied on ASM disk group. Permission denied on ASM disk group. Sorry guys. So there was some issue sometime back. Like I was not able to create an ASM disk group. I was getting some permission denied on ASM disk group error. So I happened to check all the permissions for the new disk as well as the old disk. It were actually same, but somehow in when I was trying to troubleshoot it, somehow the node got rebooted due to lack of system resources on node 1. We only gave some 3 cores of CPUs for each of the nodes, so this type of reboots are expected. And also this is a virtual the rack is being hosted on a VirtualBox, so uh, we can't expect the same functionality as we expect on an actual rack which is hosted on physical servers. So uh, I tried to restart the CRS and everything on both the nodes, and I did a reboot. Somehow it got created. Don't know, as far as the permissions are concerned, they are actually same on both as verified from both the nodes. So now the disk group are created, and let us try to run the same SQL query to see the disk status. Set pages 300, lines 300. column path format A50 and run it. Yeah, the new disk. Yeah, this is the disk which was added, and it is now a member. So yeah, we are done with the video. So if you have any questions, please update the comment section. I'll get back to you. Thank you.